There are times when healing is not gentle but fierce, when the soul demands not silence but rebirth through fire. As Chiron walked through Eris, drawn by Eris, Chariklo, Saturn, Neptune, and Jupiter, the heavens open a portal for sacred becoming. Hello everyone, welcome back to Conscious Cafe Astrology. In this part, we are delving deep into Chiron current transit, the wound of identity, with Chiron bridges with Chariklo, Eris, Saturn, Neptune, and Jupiter. As we stand here in May 2025, Chiron continues his long journey through Eris, the fierce sign of birth, identity, and raw life force. This is no ordinary movement in the sky. At 23 degrees in Eris, Chiron is not walking alone. He is surrounded and challenged by great cosmic forces. Chiron in Aries is about the wound of identity, the healing bridge of Chariklo. Right now, as we speak, Chiron's journey through Aries in the last degrees, the fierce sign of selfhood, courage, and new beginning. He was here since 2018, and he will stay here until 2027. Chiron in Eris invites humanity to heal one of the most fundamental wounds of existence. That is our wound of being. In Eris, Chiron is asking, do I have the right to exist, to desire, to assert, and to act? Can I honor my instinct without fear of punishment or exile? Can I be my full self, even if it makes others uncomfortable? This long passage stirs themes of healing anger, moving from reactive fire to sacred flame, reclaiming autonomy and self-trust, initiating new paths even when afraid. It is a fierce, beautiful call, not to become someone else's version of good, but to become yourself, whole and unapologetic. At this moment, Chiron is around 23 degrees in Aries. He forms a sextile aspect, a very gentle and supportive bridge to Chariklo at 21 degrees in Aquarius. This is a sacred dialogue between Chiron and Chariklo. Chiron, the wounded healer, seeking courage and self-sovereignty in Eris, while his soul partner, Chariklo, the sacred weaver, holding the space of collective evolution in Eris. Sextile is not about crisis. They are opportunity, an open door, a whisper. Come, there is help for your healing if you are willing to walk through it. What this means for us? During this rare alignment, the cosmos offers a supportive thread. The wound of identity with Chiron in Aries are gently held by the wisdom of community, wisdom and grace of Chariklo in Aquarius. Healing is not forced, it is allowed. Transformation does not come through collapse. It comes through conscious trust in your own evolution. You may feel a subtle encouragement to reclaim your path, not alone, but with a web of higher soul connections. A softening of old fears around visibility, anger, or survival. A calling to hold yourself and others with more gentleness, more spaciousness, more sacred patience. You are being invited to heal the wounds warriors inside you, to recognize that you don't have to fight alone, and to see grace is already weaving itself into your life if you let it. So this dance between Chiron and Chariklo. While Chiron teaches us to face our pain, and Chariklo teaches us to hold it. Together, through this sextile, they offer a new kind of medicine, a healing that does not require perfection, that honors both the ache and the arrival. And this healing is saying, you are not broken, you are birthing yourself anew. So in this episode, we will walk deeper into the Chariklo story. She is the keeper of sacred space, the silent weaver of soul healing, the one who reminds us that true transformation is held, not forced. Her presence now is not a coincidence. It is a cosmic blessing arriving exactly where we need it most. The main aspect we can look at is Chiron conjunct Eris, wild truth healing. It is raw, uncompromising emotional honesty. Saturn and Neptune both in Eris. That is a sacred restructuring of dreams, realism plus mystical new beginning. And with Chiron sextile Jupiter in Gemini, blessing and growth through communication, storytelling, and collective wisdom. Let us first look at Chiron conjunct Eris. Eris is another mystical story that I would love to talk about in depth in a very near future. At this moment, we can say that this is the awakening of the sacred rebel. Close beside Chiron, we find Eris, the dwarf planet of strife, discord, and radical truth. She is often misunderstood as merely chaotic, but at her heart, Eris is the force that says, I will not be excluded, I will not be erased. Her myth, the goddess who threw the golden apple into the wedding of the gods, exposing false harmony, mirrors Chiron's mission now, to heal not only by smoothing things over, but by revealing the hidden, the uncomfortable, and the raw truth. This conjunction asks, what anger have you buried to survive? Where has your true self been left out of your own story? Chiron and Eris together, they forge a healing through sacred disruption, not violence, but liberation. This is about restructuring dream, awakening sacred action with Saturn and Neptune enter Aries. Neptune was here already since March 30th. Bring dreams, illusions, high spiritual longing. And Saturn is here from May 24th, brings gravity, structure, and accountability. So both Saturn and Neptune joining Chiron's landscape into Aries. Now it becomes a battleground of birth and rebuilding. You are not just healing your identity. You are being called to rebuild it from soul fire, to make your dreams real, to anchor spirit into bone, to live courage as daily practice, not as myth. Chiron's healing journey is magnified by these giant archetypes. The time for dreaming is over. It is time to become. And very soon, in June to August 2025, we will have Chiron sextile Jupiter in Gemini, the bridge of growth and wisdom. At the beginning of June, as Jupiter transits through Gemini, Chiron receives a powerful sextile of blessing. Jupiter brings expansion, generosity, faith, and wisdom, especially through words, communication, teaching, and learning. This sextile is saying your healing journey will find new words. Your story will not end at the wound. It will blossom into wisdom to be shared. Connection is part of your medicine. This summer, growth through storytelling, teaching, and soul dialogue will be especially powerful. Your voice matters. Your truth matters. The world is waiting for the wisdom born from your scars. Right now, Chiron in Eris is not isolated. He is a part of a vast choreography. He walks with Eris, burning false narratives. He stands before Saturn and Neptune, who demand real embodiment of dream. And he is blessed by Jupiter, who opened the gate for wisdom to travel further. And softly, patiently, Chariklo in Aquarius holds space for all of it, waving the sacred cloth while all these transformations can be witnessed, honored, and integrated. You are not alone in your healing. The universe is conspiring gently, fearlessly, and lovingly to guide you into your next becoming. We are going to look at Chiron in Aries, what this transit means for you, according to your zodiac sign. For the lovely Aries, this is the rebirth of self. This Chiron passage is not subtle. It is personal, immediate, and sacred. The wound lives inside your very identity. The question of whether you are allowed to exist fully, fearlessly, without apology. Chiron conjunct Eris now stirs every suppressed rage, every moment you felt invisible, every instinct you swallow for survival. Saturn and Neptune move into Aries demand even more, that you restructure your life not from external roles, but from the deep pulse of your soul. But you are not alone. Chariklo, waving her silence grace from Aquarius, offer a new ways of belonging without betrayal. Jupiter in Gemini opens the gate for your voice to travel further. Your story, your truth, your existence as a living medicine for others. This is a year to reclaim yourself, to rise, scarred and softened, to remember that the right to be is not something you must earn. It is something you already are. To the lovely Taurus, healing the invisible threads. The healing work is subterranean, woven through unseen worlds of the subconscious, dreams, and soul memory. Chiron in your 12th house asks you to face grief too ancient to name, fears too deep to rationalize. The ache may feel like it belongs to lifetimes, and perhaps it does. The presence of Eris demands that you no longer hide your spiritual wounds under layers of politeness or denial. Saturn and Neptune in Eris press you to create a new kind of spiritual resilience, not blind faith, but embodied devotion. Chariklo holds open a portal of unseen protection. Jupiter invites suppressing blessings through financial support, resources, and unexpected allies. This is a year to heal not by striving, but by surrendering, letting the divine hold what your hands cannot carry. Your spirit is not broken, it is being refined. To the lovely Gemini, waving a new future of belonging. The winds of belonging shift. Chiron moves through your 11th house, stirring old wounds around community, friendships, and the future you once dreamed would be yours. Perhaps you have felt like an outsider in groups that once comforted you. Perhaps the future you envisioned no longer fits. Eris, awaken the rebel heart within you, not to destroy for destruction's sake, but to strip away alliance built on self-betrayal. Saturn and Neptune ask you to take your dreams seriously. No more deferring to the crowd. Chariklo, shining from Aquarius, offer new soul communities if you dare to be seen as you truly are. Jupiter in Gemini blesses you with the charisma, ideas, and agility to build bridges, to find or create the circles where your wild wisdom belongs. This is a year not to seek acceptance, but to build belonging through your living, breathing truth. For the lovely Cancer, foundations of the soul are shifting. Chiron, light up your 10th house, the house of your public path, your calling, your visible self, or the world. All wounds around being seen, or punished for being seen. Stir under the fierce sky. Perhaps you once built a life that fits expectations, but suffocates your soul. Perhaps your fear of exposure that comes with standing in your full authority. Eris demands that you break the inherited myth of success, while Saturn and Neptune call you to rebuild your purpose not on external achievement alone, but on sacred alignment between your heart and your hands. Chariklo holds you in space of power that are soft, ethical, sustainable. Jupiter, bless your hidden life, your inner sanctuary and spiritual practices grow richer if you listen. This is a year to redefine what legacy means, to let not from the mask, but from the moral, to shine not because you are unafraid, but because you remember who you truly are. For the lovely Leo, the wild horizons call. Chiron journey moves through your ninth house, the realms of belief, higher learning, long journeys, and the quest for meaning. All betrayals by teachers, gurus, or even your own former faith may rise to the surface. Questions once answered easily now crack open again under the fierce gaze of Eris. While Saturn and Neptune challenge you to walk your own sacred path, to study not from fear, but from soul thirst. Chariklo invites you to find spiritual partnerships that do not bind but liberate. Jupiter amplifies your voice across far distances, publishing, speaking, teaching, traveling, all expand if you dare to speak your evolving truth. This is a year to be a pilgrim, not a settler, to let your belief system breathe, transform, and becoming living, radiant fires rather than cold cages. For the lovely Virgo, the sacred alchemy of trust and power. Now Chiron ignites your 8th house, the sacred chamber of intimacy, power, death, rebirth, and the merging resources. Old wounds, betrayal, loss, emotional vulnerability come to light, not to undo you, but to remake you. Eris force confrontation with the shadow you have carefully organized out of sight. Saturn and Neptune push you to honor boundaries and bonds that nourish, not drain. Chariklo brings a new grace to share space, a reminder that true merging never requires self-abandonment. With Jupiter blesses your career, your leadership, and your visibility, but only if you first reclaim your soul's sovereignty. This is a year to enter the fire of transformation willingness, to grieve, to heal, to release, and to emerge with treasures forged in your own blood and breath. For the lovely Libra, the sacred mirror of relationships cracks open. Chiron moves through your 7th house, the sacred domain of partnership and one-on-one connection. This is where the wound is most tender, the ache of longing to be loved without losing yourself. All patterns of pleasing, appeasing, or sacrificing your truth for harmony rise to the surface, asking not for shame, but for release. Eris stirs the space where you abandon yourself to keep the peace. With Saturn and Neptune, ask you to build new structures for relationship, ones built not on compromise alone, but on shared soul integrity. Chariklo blesses you with the weaving of a new graceful way of relationships, where you can be fully yourself. Jupiter lifts your higher mind, bringing teachers, travels, or studies that show you new blueprint for love and belonging. This is a year to face the mirror without fear, to find that what is reflected back is not judgment, but the raw beauty of your truest self. For the lovely Scorpio, it is sacred work, sacred body, and sacred service. For Scorpio, Chiron enters your 6th house, the house of work, health, ritual, and service. This is a quiet but potent wound. Where have you been taught to measure your worth by productivity? Where have you denied your body whisper in favor of duty? Eris demands that you confront the systems, external and internal, that enslaves your sacred energy. With Saturn and Neptune beckons you to build new daily practices rooted in soul nourishment, not self-punishment. Chariklo offers healing through small rituals of kindness to yourself. Jupiter blesses the deep work of intimacy, resource sharing, and emotional healing, encouraging trust and restoration. This is a year to heal your partnerships with your own rhythms, to remember that service born from wholeness, not matrondom, it is the truest offering you can make. To the lovely Sagittarius, it is the rewinding of joy. Chiron lights up your 5th house, the realm of joy, creativity, romance, and the free expression of the heart. Old wounds around being too much or not enough, when your shone brightest, might resurface. Perhaps you learned that passions invite punishment, and that pleasure must be earned. Eris tears away the old cages around your light. With Saturn and Neptune invites you to anchor your creative dreams into real, tangible forms, no longer leaving your joy in the someday life. Chariklo blesses your communications, your voice, your words, helping you speak your true desire. And Jupiter blesses your partnerships, attracting allies and beloveds who meet you as you are, not as you perform. This is a year to reclaim joy not as luxury, but as sacred necessity. To remember that your laughter, your art, your love are not frivolous. They are medicine. For the lovely Capricorn, the healing of ancestral roots and inner foundations. Chirons travel through your 4th house, the realm of home, family, roots, and emotional belonging. Old stories from your lineage, the stories of survival, silence, duty, and emotional repression, rise to be witnessed and transformed. You might feel called to heal patterns you did not create, but shaped you nonetheless. Eris demands that you confront where loyalty to the old stories has cost you your space. With Saturn and Neptune, bless you with the power to build a new inner home, one based on soul truth, not inherited expectations. Chariklo supports you through practical grace, grounding healing into your everyday ritual. Jupiter lifts your health, your daily work, and your sense of sacred service, encouraging you to create systems that sustain your soul, not just your ambition. This is a year to remember you are not chained to your past. You are the seed of the new ancestral tree, rooted in healing, flowering in freedom. To the lovely Aquarius, the voice awakens and the heart speaks. Chiron activates your third house, the realm of communication, thinking, learning, and local environment. Old wounds around speaking your truth, being heard, or feeling different in your immediate surroundings may surface. Perhaps your voice was dismissed or distorted early in life, and yet it holds the medicine needed now. Eris demands that you unchain your tongue from the fear of disruption. With Saturn and Neptune, call you to write, speak, teach, and move with both structure and imagination. While Chariklo, in your sign, is your steady companion, helping you hold sacred space for your own becoming. And Jupiter blesses you with creative pursuits, encouraging boldness, romance, joy, and playful expansion. This is a year to reclaim your words as bell of truth. Your voice is not a weapon, it is a bridge, and the world needs to hear your heartbeats. And to the lovely Pisces, the deep healing of self-worth and sacred abundance. Chiron moves through your second house, the domain of self-worth, money, resources, and values. This transit stirs old wounds about deservingness. Am I enough? Am I safe to receive? Am I allowed to exist in abundance without shame? Eris forces you to dismantle false scripts around scarcity and self-sacrifice. With Saturn and Neptune entering Eris, begin a new era of embodied spirituality, calling you to anchor your dreams into real-world structures. Chariklo blesses your inner world, helping you heal hidden fears and forgotten gifts. With Jupiter blesses your home and emotional foundations, creating opportunities to root deeper into security, both mentally and spiritually. This is a year to recognize that your soul's value was never in question. You are and always have been a sacred investment of the universe's own breath. Thank you for joining me. Until the next episode of Mythology in Astrology. Thank you, Genevieve.